Hey. Hey, welcome back to Candid Talk with Lexee Love
and Valentina versus Valentino.
So who do we have as a guest today?
So today we have my friend and co-worker Jamal Simpkins.
Hey, how are y'all? Nice to meet everybody.
It is so good to have. This is our third show?
Yep, it's our third episode, y'all.
That's a round of applause right there.
Right.
So, well, let's go ahead and get started. I always like to start our talk with pet peeves. This is what we're talking about this week. So, we're going to go with our guest. What is your pet peeve that's happened for you this week?
Micromanaging. I just hate when someone tells me to do something when I'm already in the process of doing it. So it's just like, I got it. That's just one thing that really gets under my skin. It happens a lot, not just in work life, but in everyday life too.
Yes. As adults, we do not want to be micromanaged.
Yeah.
And what about you, Valentina?
So I would probably have to say girls that switch really hard when they walk. Like, I don't know, it just bothers me.
Switch? Like where? At the club? At work? I mean, when you at the mall?
At work, really?
Okay.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know.
You just don't like it? You're like, what are you doing?
Like, you doing too much.
Like, we need some dollars?
Right.
Like,
Exactly. Right.
What is
Where the
going on?
at? Stage, pole, everything.
Well, for me, the job that I do is in customer service as well as being an actor. And anytime that I say thank you or, just something, like if somebody opens a door for me, I say thank you. They go, mm-hmm. I cannot stand that. When someone says, mm-hmm. Because to me, my
dismissive.
Yes, it's very dismissive as a Gen X, because you're a Gen Z and millennial, so we got 3 generations right here with 3 different.
Represent for the Gen Z.
So yeah, it's just like it's kind of like a whatever, and I cannot stand it when they go mm-hmm. So
just push them back to it.
Just push them back
Just push them back to it.
Well. The title of this podcast is What Behavior Triggers You? But before we get started with that, we want to allow our guest Jamal to really just go in and tell us what he does, how he got started, how did he get to Atlanta, or is he from Atlanta? So just give the audience a little bit of information.
So I'm not from Atlanta. I'm from this small city called Portal, Georgia. It's like 10 minutes outside of Statesboro. And I went to college near Albany, like 30 minutes from there at a college called Georgia Southwestern. Ever since I was 16, I kind of wanted to get into real estate. So I've been currently working on getting my real estate license for the past year. I've done some different jobs already with it, but it's just me forming my own experiences personally. I did start my own real estate LLC a couple years ago just to have that already operating, but now I'm currently focusing on getting that. And I moved to Atlanta after, my junior year of college, just because of some things that were with COVID and everything. It was just very complicated. So I moved down here, started working for a marketing firm, did that for a little bit, and then kind of realized I wanted to get back into real estate because in college, my mentor, she used to be a realtor actually, and she taught in Dubai for like 10 years.
Nice.
Too. It was just a lot of different experiences of hearing that at a younger age and seeing the ambition that she had. It kind of rubbed off on me, especially because she gave me a lot of insight just about life.
So when you said about COVID, so were you online at that point doing college?
Yeah. So my last year of college, I finished it online. I was up here in Atlanta working already, but I was doing my last 2 courses on the computer.
So how do you like Atlanta compared to where you were?
Oh, I definitely love the city.
Yeah, we've never been there.
I would say it's so much better. There's a lot more opportunities, a lot more room for growth, new people, better connections, just a lot of different things up here. So
Nice. Well, I'm glad. I'm actually glad that you and Valentina got together and decided to come on our show, be our first guest.
I know, I love that. Thank y'all for having me.
And before we go into more of what you do, Valentina made us another drink. She is a bartender. So what do we got? What do we got serving for us today?
So this is a French 75. It's Lexee wanted something that was a little bit sparkling. So I'm like, okay, well, let me see what I can find. So I know when I'm at work, and you probably gotten this too, a lot of people have asked for this drink. So it's pretty much gin, simple syrup, lemon juice, and then you top it off with champagne. And there you go.
Well, you know I love
Something nice and bubbly.
Yeah.
Right, it's good. It's refreshing, y'all.
You know the bougie side of me likes the champagne.
Right.
She's always spilling. She's
spilling
always
my
spilling. She spilled last week. She's spilling this week. It's like it
I
don't
have
matter.
Vaseline on my hands.
It don't matter what this girl has. It don't have to be alcoholic. She's spilling it. That's why she better not ever wear white on here.
Well, unless we're drinking clear liquor.
Exactly. It ain't gonna be nothing in it.
So, okay, back to you, Jamal. So, basically, you're doing the real estate. Is there anything else that you are engaged in right now besides the real estate?
I have my hand in like a variety of things. I'm one of those people, I like to just have different streams of income. So, I do a couple of modeling gigs on the side
Oh,
for
nice.
my friends that are up and coming with their clothing
Okay,
lines.
what do you model? I mean, clothes,
yeah.
swimwear?
Swimwear, clothing wear, like sportswear, just different brands that they have. I have
Nice.
everybody's being an entrepreneur with Gen Z, so you know.
Yes.
Definitely opportunities for that, and I'm trying to get back into acting, just finding some more roles for that, just because I'm
Okay.
down in Atlanta now,
Okay.
and when I was trying to do it before, I was still 3 hours away, so it was just
Yeah,
inconvenient.
a little difficult to drive, yeah.
Other than that, I do websites. I make websites for a couple of people who are starting companies and do that. on the side.
Nice.
So
You
I
are a one-man
Right.
I have to put my name to work.
organization.
I didn't get it for no reason, so.
Yes. I mean, you know what? I think we learned in 2020 that you have to figure out how to be an entrepreneur because these companies,
They're bound to let you go.
they're bound to let you go. No 90-day, nothing. We just bye, see you later. You're not going to do what we want you to do. You gotta roll out.
And you're just a number. You're
Yes.
not even a person to them. So.
Yes. So I'm really excited that as a black man that you've decided, hey, this is something I got to figure out how I'm going to make a living. And not only that, maybe retire before you're 45.
I cannot work my whole life. I'm going to retire by the time I'm 35, hopefully.
Okay.
That's a goal I set when I was 16 and I'm sticking to it.
Yes.
But I was about to say, I've read a couple of like entrepreneur books and been around people, and it's all about basically networking. So building your rule of six.
Yeah.
Once I have my rule of six, I'm just gonna grind, and hopefully can retire by the time I'm 35.
Nice. Wow.
Right.
See, those are the type of friends you need to have.
Exactly.
Those,
Yeah.
The implications are gonna come along the way, but
Well, of course.
hopefully it doesn't knock me back too far.
Yeah,
The
but
goal is the bag.
Yes, I mean they always say if you want to level up, then you need to be around people that are either leveled up or leveling up. You always be around people who's talking about money,
Right.
or want more money,
Mm-hmm.
or want, especially like even with my acting career, I always have to network with other actors. I always have to go to acting school, to acting classes, anything dealing with acting. And that's just because you just never know who you're going to meet. And so.
So 9 times out of 10, you can have the work ethic, but it's all about who you know to get your foot in the door. So.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, definitely.
Right.
So, yeah. So.
Excuse me.
The bubbly got you.
This is actually really good though. You
You like it?
Yeah. So look, I be doing my thing.
I mean, I love that she, you know what, it's so funny because she wanted to be a bartender. She was determined, I'm going to be a bartender. So when 2020 happened, you wouldn't imagine that I was probably drunk, probably majority of the time, because she practiced on me.
We made drinks, I think, every Friday.
Yes.
That was our
Look, what do you mean every Friday? Like almost every, because we had nothing to do.
Everyone's locked in the house. So.
Right, exactly.
I think we spent like $1,000 just in alcohol, just
yeah,
a
you
short
know, the
period
liquor
of time.
stores were still open.
Isn't that crazy? The
Yeah.
liquor store.
But everything else was shut down.
Yeah.
You couldn't even go get
Exactly.
a burger from a place.
No, but you can go get
You
some
can go get
alcohol.
Right, like that's a necessity.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
going to the liquor store.
I think that was our thing out, was to go get alcohol.
You're
That
right.
was go get gas.
And then especially when we was getting those checks, those
Those
stimulus checks. You already know where that was going.
I know. Well, I saved some of mine.
I was
so.
in college when mine was coming, so I was spending it on drugs and alcohol.
Woo, Lord, we
Yeah.
telling everything that we did in
Right.
2020.
Candid
Not
talk.
necessarily those type of drugs, but it was
Yeah, because there was nothing
to buy. You couldn't do anything. So I was just stuck in the house with a whole bunch of college guys.
Oh, really? Okay, well, at least you were with other. Some people were isolated where they lived by themselves, and
I couldn't go home because I have older siblings.
Like that,
so I'm the baby of 13. All my siblings were like older, and they're dealing with certain not mental health, but like health implications. So it's like I didn't want to put them around that. So
yeah, that was
me and my
a
dog.
hard time. I feel like for a lot of people, especially with your family and stuff, just not being able to be around them, or you have to take everything into consideration.
But at least for me, I felt that it was good because Mercedes was able to come. She spent 15 days with us. Yes, she came back.
She was still in Houston, right?
Yes, but remember her job let them off. They were off for 2 or 3 months, and she came for 15 days, and all 4 of my girls were at home. So that was
I'm
nice.
like, where am I at half my life?
I know. She was there.
You were there.
He was there.
That's how she acts.
Yeah, it's like, how do you not remember?
Sometimes I'll tell Victoria things 5 times, and she'll ask me the same question. I'll be like, you better be glad I love you. Because I'm going to repeat it, but...
Right.
And then you repeat it, next time she sees you, she's going to be like, when did you tell me that? Last time I saw you.
Right, exactly.
Last time I saw you. That's just how our conversation goes.
Yeah, so is there anything else that you really are focusing on for the future? Do you have a 5-year plan?
I actually have a 10-year plan. So I have 4 more years on my 10-year plan. I made it when I was a junior in high school when my mom had passed, and literally the day that she passed, that night I wrote out a 10-year plan with real estate.
Wow.
And so ever since then, my goal is just to accomplish that, and I give myself a spare time of 2 years extra, but the goal is to get that done within the next 4 or 5 years. So.
Well, I'm sorry to hear about your mom. I definitely understand. My mom passed in 2020. No, she had Alzheimer's.
Okay.
So yes, so that I don't know which is worse. Just I don't know, because it was my mother was a very strong-natured woman, very opinionated, very strong. My mother was the boss. She was boss. And to see her deteriorate like that was so hard. I couldn't even imagine what my dad dealt with, but I would go see her when we had COVID. I didn't care. It was like, well, you can't go. You know what? If she dies, you guys don't care. I'm the one who's going to be mourning her. So that was another thing that I was glad, because I was able to see her every week and just saw the progression of the disease just completely. She was a 3-year-old child by the end of...
Right. She didn't even know who we were.
Yeah, at the very end, she kept asking, who are you? And I had to tell her, and then she remembered for maybe 10 seconds, and then would be,
That can be so traumatizing. I kind of went through the same thing with my mom, going through hospice because she had breast cancer, and it got it progressed very quickly. It was invasive. So it was her doing hospice at the house with me and her my junior year. I'm driving to college every morning. My sister's taking turns taking her to the doctor. And then, honestly, the last couple of days that she was still here, it was weird to see, because I actually kind of had to, wipe my mom and help her out and change her diaper and stuff like that. So it was just weird, because it's women that take care of you all your life. You see them in the opposite position, so it really makes you cherish life.
It does.
And just value the things that you do have in the moment that you do have them. So
yes, definitely. I had posted on my Instagram an aunt, and she was married into the family, and so I had got the news yesterday that she is terminal. So
I'm sorry.
Imogene.
Oh yeah.
Yes, terminal. They found a hole in her stomach, which is cancerous, and they said there's absolutely nothing. I don't know if it's spread to any other part of her body, but I'm assuming she's not going to be here too much longer.
More than likely, probably if it's transported to her spine, it's kind of everywhere, and it's hard to stop it once it gets there, because it's going through the whole body, and it's you have to do bone transplants and stuff like that. So. And I actually, I love to research. I went and looked up, and actually, stomach cancer is actually more prone to be in men, and it's an actual bacteria. It starts with an H. Of course, I can't pronounce it. That can get into your stomach, and that's what causes
I mean, there's different, you either a smoker, but like certain type of foods can cause you to get stomach cancer as well. And it's a very painful disease. It's very painful. So I'm sure, you know, if you have it, then they probably put you on morphine or something to
get comfortable.
Yes. So, yeah, that's what they had to do with my mom before she passed. They had her on because she was in so much pain from her nervous system. I guess Alzheimer's deals with people individually differently, and it caused her to have pain, I guess, in her I don't know, she was just in a lot of pain, and they had to give it to her nervous system. That's what she had, a lot of pain there. So, yeah, I know we need to bring it up. That's what we need to do. Right. We need to bring it up. But yeah, so is that, you know, I'm just glad you're here. Like, I just am. So, I guess we can move on to what my topic is, what behavior triggers you. And I got a list now, you know. I have my list. You know, I do. You know,
always
I got a list. I love it because I will go left field or so. Basically, this is what I'm going to do. This is based on friendship, and it's also based on romantic relationships. And it's just a list of, if it does trigger you, you can chime in and say, hey, yeah, that triggers me, or no, I'm good with that, and goes for you as well. Okay. So that's how I do that.
Okay.
So the first one is friendship. Two-faced. Does two-face trigger you in any way?
It does, but I feel like everybody has their different relationships with different people, so not too much.
Okay.
I don't know, y'all. I feel like I'm the type of person where I feel like, I don't know, I just kind of read people, and it just kind of avoids, you know, unnecessary drama. But typically I say to myself, but, you know, the people that really do know me, you know, they know me, and I'm myself, and I haven't, like, really had any issues as far as that goes.
Yeah. Me with two-faced, I don't like two-faced people. And what I mean by that, like, they're ha-ha, he in your face, and as soon as you turn your back, they're like, hey, you see that chick? Oh my gosh, I can't stand her. Yeah. That, to me, that's two-faced. I don't have time for that.
Just deal with them accordingly.
Yes, you have to. You have to know how to deal with people. Okay, romantic relationships. Does this behavior trigger you? Liars.
Yes. Trust is my biggest thing. Like, you can tell me what it is from the jump, and we can save ourselves time. We don't have to go through all the motions. Like, we're both adults. We can make executive decisions and tell the truth. I just feel like there's no reason to lie.
None. We're not in elementary school anymore.
Yeah.
We don't have to lie.
Especially if you're involved in a relationship with someone, then what are you lying for? Then you shouldn't be in a relationship with that person. So.
You're right.
You're absolutely right. What about you, babe?
I've been in a relationship where they weren't completely honest because they wanted to impress me. Type situation. Right.
Why do men wait. Why do men, since we got a man here,
right?
Why do men feel the need to impress a woman when she has shown you, hey, I'm down with you. Right. You don't have to do all of these accolades to get me.
I feel like it's natural to a degree.
I feel like it's more a man's pride, because it's like, yeah, they have you, but with so many things coming up in today's society now, like, men are having different standards. They're walking around driving Hellcats at the age of 20. So it's just like, we kind of got to keep evolving to keep the person that we have around. So if they feel like they're not up to par enough, they're going to keep going, trying to find ways. Or they'll lie, basically, to make you feel like you should stay with them as opposed to other people.
Okay, I'm glad, you know, hey, I want to get a little insight.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so back to friendship. Fake personality. How does that trigger that behavior trigger you? If it does.
Okay, so I will say, I'm actually one of those people, like, I can have a fake personality. Like, if you're, like I said, it goes back to, like, dealing with people certain ways. I have friends and I have acquaintances, so with my acquaintances, I might give them a certain type of energy, and it's just that. But then with my close friends, I might be all compassionate and caring and emotional. But I guess some people consider that fake because they say I act different towards other people. But in me, it's just I'm dealing with you accordingly. You're not a close person in my life, so.
That makes sense. Actually, that really makes sense. What about you, babe?
So I'm probably gonna have to agree with Jamal on that one.
Okay, well, for me, with friendship, when I think of fake personality, I think you are being somebody that you're not. And I think that's why I do like the millennial and the Gen Z, because you guys see it differently. As a Gen X, I see it if I'm a friend with you, and I consider friendship is, I don't call everybody my friend. You're either acquaintance, you're a coworker, or you are a fellow actor. Okay, I'm gonna put you in a box. So fake personality is just I'm myself, unless I'm dealing with the customer. Now, if I'm dealing with, when I do the job that to make money, my daughters always tease me because sometimes the customers act crazy, and I'd be cussing and whatever, and then I get up to them and I'd be like, "Thank you," and then my daughters be like, "That was fakish."
Code switching.
Yes, and it's just like, I can't beat them up for being dumb.
Right.
So
you gotta throw them to the birds.
Yeah,
right,
but it's friendship. I want a person to be themselves. I'd rather you be yourself, because if I like you, I like you. If you're weird, you're weird. I just want you to be yourself. So friendship to me means just that. Mm-hmm. But I get what you're saying, that there is a difference when you're dealing with different type of people, like associates or friendship or co-workers.
It's a time and a place for everything.
Yes. So romantic relationship, the behavior of not affectionate. What do you think about that?
Oh, see, me, I am Drake 2.0. I'm an emotional person. Like, I need all the affection. You constantly show me that you want me, so I can't deal with someone who's not affectionate. Mm-hmm. I actually was in a relationship one time, and she told me I was too affectionate, because I was one of those people like, I'm one to give me a kiss over and over, and she was like, "You're too affectionate." And I'm not that type of person. I was like, well, we're not gonna work out, because
you need that.
I need that. It's like with me being a Leo, not just throwing it all out to signs and astrology, but I'm one of those people, like, I love, so I want to receive a lot of it, because I have a lot to give. So
yeah. And what about you?
It's Valentina.
Yes, not affectionate. Does that behavior trigger you?
Yes. I'm sure y'all have heard about love language. I'm not going to sit here and say my love language is, affection or touch? But I feel like as a woman, it is something that is desired. So yes, it is. Like, it's going to bother me if you don't. So
you know what? It's so
you're going to hear about it.
We got Aquarius here, Cancer here, and a Leo here. And I, as a Cancer, if you are not affectionate, if you show me no emotion,
you're going to start crying.
Not only will I not going to start crying, see, there's two different personalities with the Cancer. We can be really sweet,
and really crazy,
and we can be really crazy. And I don't ever want to show the crazy side.
Right.
Ever. I don't ever, because I've seen that side, and it's not pretty.
So you're saying, help me help you.
Right. Yes. You want to stay on my good side, and you need to act right. And if you can't be affectionate with me, then you can't. I don't want to be in a relationship, because you're wasting my time. You really are. So that triggers me. I don't even want to be bothered. So yeah. So we all agree with that. Right. We all love the love. We love the love.
Right. Love the love.
Okay. So friendship throws shady comments, like, you ha he, and they throw shade at you, and you're just like, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
What is it?
I guess. Well, so me, I guess you can put me in the category of one of the sassy people, because I'm going to throw shady comments back. Like, I'm not one to go tit for tat, but it's like, you kick me, I kick you lower.
Yeah, if you're my friend, you ain't supposed to be doing that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what, like, dealing with people accordingly. It's like, if someone's doing that, I wouldn't necessarily consider them someone that was really close to me. So it's like, if you're using the stuff that I tell you as ammo, then I'm going to use the stuff that you told me as ammo. Like, two can play that game.
Yeah.
And I hate to be that way, but it's just, if you don't, then people constantly do it over and over again.
Yes.
I feel like you enable it. So.
You're teaching them how to treat you.
Exactly.
Pretty much. And what about you?
Okay, so I feel like people always undermine me. Like, they think, okay, Valentina is just fun and games. Like, no, I'm not fun and games. So just because I might act ditzy or whatever you want to call it.
She got the blonde really going on.
I'm about my business, honey. So it's just like, I don't know. It's just like take me seriously. Like accept who I am.
Mhm.
Me just being myself, outgoing, loving, social. But don't ever undermine me because I know I know what's going on. So.
Oh, I know. I don't even know how someone perceives you that way, because she can be ruthless, like cutthroat ruthless. Sometimes I gotta sit back and like, is that the daughter of Race?
Right.
Who is this person?
Right. Yeah. I just don't like it.
Yeah, if someone throws shade at me and we're supposed to be friends, now, okay, I will do the difference. Because we grew up with a lot of comedians like Richard Pryor, that kind of stuff. When we are in a closed net, like family, say like close family, like with my brothers and stuff, we sometimes will we call it Joan in DC. Yeah. I'm from DC, so Joan. And we would like play with each other. But if there was someone we call outside, like company, then we don't do that. But when we're together, we can sometimes throw shade at each other because we're siblings and we're, yes, we will do it. But it's not to the point where it's hurtful. Yeah, it'll be something like somebody like, I don't know, they did something funny and was like, hey, remember when you did such and such and such, So I don't know if that's really shade, but sometimes, you'll laugh about something that they did. So yeah, but let's move on to romantic relationships. The behavior that triggers you if they keep secrets from you and you are in a romantic relationship with them.
I gotta go. I just gotta leave, because if you lie to me once, you'll lie to me again. And if I enable it one time, I enable it over and over again. And once you tell me one lie, how do I not know that everything you told me is a lie? So it's just basically like the trust is gone. We're back to square one, so we might as well either end the relationship or start over completely. And I don't have time to start over, so let's just part ways.
Yeah, just go ahead and cut the cord.
Yeah.
What about you, babe?
My thing is just, be honest. From the beginning, give somebody the opportunity, the chance to say, no, that's not something I want to deal with, because even at the end of the day, it may not be what you want, the end result, you being with that person or not being with that person, you will appreciate it at the end of the day. That they were honest and that you were able to make a decision. Hey, this is not something I want to deal with. So you'll move on and find somebody else.
Truth hurts. Yeah. It really does. But it also can open a better relationship, because I do believe that if you go into a relationship, and I'm going to say naked, and I don't mean that with your clothes off, but naked, really, especially if
being vulnerable.
Yes, if you really want to be with that person, you really want to grow, you're going to have to be vulnerable with that person. Because to me, part of love making is vulnerability. If I cannot be vulnerable with you sitting like this with you, how am I going to have pleasurable sex with you?
Right.
Exactly.
How's that going to happen? Because I'm going to be embarrassed. I'm going to hold back.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, I'm learning a lot about myself by doing these podcasts.
It's like a self-journey type thing.
I know, huh? Like, dang.
Right.
So yeah, okay. So let's move on to friendship. Controlling. What do you think about friendship when someone is trying to control you?
I actually had this happen I've had this scenario happen with a friend of mine before, and she was just one of those people, like, anytime that she wanted things done her way, it had to be done her way. So ever since I've gotten in my, I guess you could say, later 20s, I'm about to be 24, 25.
Oh, you a baby.
So I set up boundaries. So it's like I adhere to my boundaries. So I stick to what I say and just stand on that. And if it affects someone else and hurts them negatively, I'm sorry, but I'm doing what's best for me.
The self-love for yourself. You have to. You really do. I didn't understand self-love until much later, because I was taught differently. Was taught always be considerate of the other person, always be compassionate for other people, and sometimes it affects.
Especially when you're a person that wears your heart on your sleeve, or like empath, you're feeling all those emotions. So if you're trying to preserve someone else's feelings, you're really hurting yourself 10 times worse.
Yeah. So I'm learning to be selfish. I'm learning to be very selfish. It's hard. It really is. But I have to do it in order to preserve my own sanity.
Right.
And honestly, they say when you're in uncomfortable positions, you're growing. So if you're in a controlling friendship and you're feeling uncomfortable, that means that friendship is growing. If you're testing those boundaries, either y'all are going to get better together, y'all are going to learn how to communicate with each other, or either the friendship wasn't something that needed to be separate.
Gosh, you were so smart. I love this guy.
That's what I told you. Like,
You got not only book smarts, you got common sense.
I have 13 siblings, and they're all 40.
They're older, so you got that old. They got that old, and yeah.
They always wanted to tell me something in one ear, and at a young age, it was going out this year, but now it's coming back.
Yeah, you're learning. You may not do everything that they told you or talked about, but at least you're able to. Their experiences are like, okay, this is what my brother or sister did. Yeah, that's not gonna work for me, or yeah, that's a good idea. So yeah, I get it. That's a good thing as being the baby of the family.
Yeah.
So what about you with controlling friendship?
So I've never really had any controlling friends, but I've definitely had my share of controlling relationships. And I just don't go for it. It's just not my thing. Because I'm just too much of a social butterfly, and I just love to do things. I'm just a people person. So if you want to control me, it's just not gonna.
It's not gonna work.
Not gonna end up well.
No, it's not gonna work. I'm already telling you. I would tell you this little story about Victoria. She got Valentina. She got mad at me when she was a little girl, and she told Mercedes, she's like, I hate mom, because I guess something she couldn't do. She couldn't. Yeah, something I wouldn't let her do, or she got in trouble for it. So, of course, Mercedes, trying to be on the good side of me, she comes and she says, Moms, Valentina told me that such and such and such. And I said, oh, she did. So then I went in the room and I said, so you said that you hated me. And she's like, I said, well, since you hate me, you don't need to live with people that you hate.
That wasn't Mercedes?
No, that was you. And I put you out.
This is when we lived in Fort Washington?
Yes, it's when we lived in Fort Washington. And I put her, we lived in an apartment at the time. I put her outside. I was like, well, then you can go stand outside.
How old was she?
She probably was I think she was like in 3rd grade.
Oh, my God.
So she doesn't like to be, she's never liked to be controlled. So you know what she did? I had bought her a life-size Barbie doll. Those were like big back when she was little. She put that joker in the living room, sitting on the couch, because she knew I would get up at night, because I would just get up. Just I like to check things. That thing was sitting on the couch, and it was big. And I happened to look, I said, what the? I was so mad at her. I think she did it on purpose.
Don't ask me, because y'all know me and my memory.
I'm going to say, she don't know.
Yesterday it's conversation.
But she loved that doll. But okay, we're gonna keep it moving. So, behaviors that trigger you in the romantic relationship relies on opposite sex opinions about your relationship. So the person would go to one of your male friends and say, hey, this is what, me and Jamal are doing, blah, blah, blah. And they but then it's almost kind of going against what you and the person that you're with have already agreed with, but they go and bring in a third party.
I don't tolerate that.
Okay.
No one can come into our relationship that we have. So it's like, if it's actually our relationship, what do we need outside advice for? Are they a therapist? Are they a counselor? Or do they have a license or a doctor?
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, I would say in those, I have been affected by those type of relationships where they've gotten input from friends and family, and it's just like, yeah, but what do you want? Because at the end of the day, you can listen to what everybody else says, but everybody as a person are going to make their own decisions, and they're going to do what they want. So,
and then that person may have an agenda. It may not want you to be with that person.
Exactly. Because
they want to be with you, or they want you to be unhappy like them, or single like them.
Misery enjoys company.
They do.
More than a little bit.
Oh, there I go with that. But see, I use my in a proper context. Okay, go ahead. Richard, what about you?
Okay, so, what's the question again?
Relies on opposite sex opinions about your relationship with the person that so the person you're with goes to a third party.
No, not me, or vice versa.
Well, no, you and the person that you're in a relationship with decide this is what we're gonna do, and then for whatever reason they go, well, don't tell you, but go to another party and say, hey, me and Valentina want to do this and this and this. Does that bother you when someone does that?
To get someone else's advice.
Yes, after you guys agreed upon something.
Yes, I mean it would, but I haven't dealt with that personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, without getting too personal, I have dealt with that. And and the reason why I know it is because of the action and the attitude from the person that I suspected knew what was going on. So you know what I mean? Like the person I was in a relationship went and told the person, and then when that third person came, they kind of acted standoffish, or they had an attitude, or you could tell that they knew
something was up.
Yes, and that to me that's gonna ruin a relationship, because see, at that point I want to kick your butt. I want to fight, because I am a fighter. I am a fighter. I fight. I mean, because I love hard, so I fight hard.
Lexee Love and Rocky Balboa.
I am. I'm not the gray. It's like I'm gonna love you, or I'm gonna hate you. There's no in between with me.
That's a Cancer. That is my best friend's a Cancer. That is a Cancer. Like, when she's happy with me, she's happy with me. When she's mad, I can't even text her. Like, I'm blocked.
Blocked.
I'm like, why am I seeing green? And then it's just like, okay.
And then about a week or two later, she unblocked again.
She comes around and be like, you really pissed me off, but I guess I'll let you live. And I'm like, well, thank you, I guess. Like, I didn't know my life was in danger from one of my friends.
Oh my God, that is so funny. My mother was a Leo, and my sister-in-law is a Leo, and we get along. No, now I see why we get along so well.
And we've been friends since we were 2.
Okay.
Like pre-K, so
yeah,
we're literally like brother and sister now. It's kind of toxic.
Yeah. My first cousin on my dad's side, he's a Leo as well, and we get along really well too. But he always wants to argue with me all the time. He likes to argue with me, and I'm just like, you're not gonna ever win. I don't know why you're doing it.
Yeah, you can't tell y'all nothing, and you can't tell us anything.
Yeah,
so it's like
we're butt heads, but we love each other. It's
and
weird.
We're not gonna go anywhere. It's like, okay, you speak your piece, I speak my piece.
You stuck with me.
Yep. So on friendship, always negative. Person, have you ever had a friend where everything you do is always negative?
That just grinds my gears.
Right.
Throughout life, I've had people that's been around who are always like, if you're bringing up good news, they always want to bring it down with bad news, or if you're doing something, they always got to try to one up it. So it's like negativity. Right. This year I have no energy for negativity. So if someone's negative around me, I generally will remove myself, and I don't care who it is. Like, even at work, there's been situations where my boss is saying something that I do not like, and I know I'm going to react to a way that I shouldn't. I'm leaving.
You get up and leave.
I just walk away.
Yeah.
I don't care how anybody feels. I'm doing this for me, just because I'm working more on my anger. So it's like, if you're going to upset me with your negativity, I just have to take that out of the picture completely.
Yeah. Then we go back to self-love. What about you?
I can't stand it. Like, I'm just, I feel like everybody goes through things, and I feel like it's not an excuse to take it out on other people, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Like, you have to be able to deal with whatever you got going on, but don't take it out on other people, because people just don't want to be around it, honestly. Yeah.
I mean, unless you're really close, like if you have some issues, obviously I'm gonna listen. Best friends.
But you'll know.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, okay, well, I know maybe they're just having a bad day, but you're not gonna like.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like, when I think of negative, I'm thinking of every time you do something, like you do something and they're like, oh, you're wearing that? Or, just like if you say, well, this is, I decided I was going to do this. Well, why are you doing that? I feel it's so condescending. It's negative condescending. Like, you're just like, really? I cannot stand to be around a person like that, because to me, everybody has their own life and their own decisions. I may not like everything that you do, but I'm not living your life.
Exactly. Right. You're living for you. I'm living for me.
Yes. So yeah, negative. I just don't like it. So like you said, I gotta leave because see, my anger can go from 0 to 1,000 in like 5 seconds.
I'm still taking anger management classes, so I'm just like, yeah, you gotta go.
Yes.
Can't do any of that.
And I won't even talk. Like today, as a matter of fact, when I was in the bathroom, I was washing my hands and I had set my phone down and this older lady was in there and she didn't put soap on her hands. And then she realized, oh, well, there's a soap. And I shouldn't have put my phone there, but I thought maybe she had soap on her. She gets soap on my phone and she's like, oops, I got soap on. I didn't even speak. Was so mad, I didn't even say nothing. I couldn't even say nothing because I'm like, if I just kick you right now, I would be in the wrong.
It's like, how could she not see your phone right there?
It's
like,
big too. It's the 14 Pro Max. So.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm just like, why you didn't get? Because you got out of the bathroom before I did, so I don't know. But anyway, we're gonna move. We're gonna move on. Now this one's a little on the touchy side. So this is a romantic relationship. Only want sex when they are in the mood.
I can't do that.
That's a trigger for you.
That is a trigger for me because it's like, I mean, I get it. Like we're both sexual beings, but if I got to be on your time, then you have to be on my time sometimes. So it's like compromise. It's a relationship. If we're in a relationship, I feel like we should already be compromising anyway. So it's like, and I'm young. So what are we having to schedule that for?
We're rabbits. We're supposed to be.
Where's the spontaneity? Like I need everything. Not when we can have it when the doves want it. Like I don't really care who wants it. I just know we gotta have it. Like it is kind of a necessity at that. Especially because like I'm young right now. I'm gonna start having kids in like the next 2 or 3 years, so it's like I need to get it away now before I start having little rugrats running around where it's really I have to schedule it. So
you have to schedule. You put them jokers down for a nap.
Right. Exactly.
if they're anything like me and they're gonna be my kids, they ain't gonna go to sleep.
You better train them. You better train them as soon as they get out before they get out the womb.
They're gonna have my genes.
They're gonna be like, Daddy.
They're gonna go to sleep.
What are you doing in there, Daddy?
Right.
Why is the door closed? It's never closed.
Why are you breathing hard?
Right, exactly.
What about you?
I just feel like when you're in a relationship with somebody and it's kind of understood, then y'all both should be on the same page.
Y'all should be both on the same page.
Y'all should both be on the same page.
Oh, well. I wrote half of these questions for myself, I guess.
Right.
For me, to be honest with you, the only time that I ever was moody when it came is when I was pregnant, because after your belly gets so big, it's kind of hard. I mean, even doggy style is kind of hard too. I'm just gonna be honest.
But I got all this.
Yeah.
Do this from the
This
back.
hurt my back.
Yeah, it does, especially when that baby gets heavy. But no, I guess I'm a sexual being. I enjoy sex a lot, and so that would be a problem for me as well. That would be a problem. If somebody can't, if you can't, I'm gonna need you to. If you need to take the blue pill, whatever you need to do.
Right. Exactly.
I'm gonna need you to go ahead and work it out because I'm gonna be mad. You want me to make you breakfast?
Right. Exactly.
You want what? You want dinner? You better go in there and get you some TV dinners.
Exactly.
Give
me some motivation.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, yeah.
Right. Exactly. That's why I'm waking up real quick.
The motivation, something. Shoot.
Exactly.
She said, put me in the mood. Don't just think I'm just there already.
Yeah,
Right,
you want a maid, you need to hire a maid.
Right.
Shoot, we doing everything together, especially when it comes to sex. So yeah, that's definitely a trigger for me. So back to friends. When someone reminds you of what they did for you on a constant basis.
Don't do it for me. Just don't take the gesture back. I will go back in time and rewind it. Like, I don't care if I was homeless and you gave me a pot of water. Mm-hmm. If you're gonna bring it up when things are different, like I'm all for. I don't get me wrong. I might forget things, but I always acknowledge. Like if you've done something for me, anybody in my life, I'm very appreciative because you don't have to do that. My mom was the only person that was entitled to it. My dad is not really in my life like he needs to be. So it's like anything that I do for myself, do for me is for me. So anything that you do for me is something that you wanted to do, not something that I asked you to do. And if I did ask you to do it and you did it, then that's just a decision that you chose. So don't try to throw it in my face. You're not my friend if you do that.
No, you're not. What about you, Valentina?
What's the bubbles again? Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely like, I wouldn't do something for somebody and then bring it up. Like, I don't know. I just think it's petty.
Very petty.
Because you shouldn't. I remember something Nana would always say, like, do stuff out of love. Like, don't do it and expect to get something back, or just there's strings attached. You're just gonna bring it up. Like, no, there's no point of doing it then.
Yeah, that's how I feel with the gifts. Gifts should not come with strings. Yeah. If you're giving it out of love. You're giving it because you want that person to have it. And if I'm in a friendship with you and you start reminding me of all the stuff you did for me, and especially if I didn't ask you, then Houston, we got a problem. The texts and the phone calls are going to become less and less and less, because I feel like you whatever you do for a person, do it out of love. Don't ever expect anything. It's almost like a grant. It's like, I'm giving it to you out of love, or I'm giving it to you. That's it. So yeah, that's definitely one of those.
No,
we crossing you off the list. You ain't no more friend to me. And I've had people where I've done stuff for them, and it wasn't ever enough. That's another thing that I don't like, is that if you do something for somebody and then they bring up all what you didn't do. It's like,
exactly. And
I gave you $1,000 and I never got it back. What the heck?
That's the one. I bonded a lot of people out and never asked for the money back. And it's just weird to me, because it's like, those people aren't even in my life anymore, and I still will never go and be like, hey, you're ever going to pay me back for when I bonded you out on this day? It's just like, I did those things because
something like this.
I did those things because I wanted to, not because I had to, not because I was expecting anything back from you. I was in a position to help you out. So you're somebody I cared about. I'm putting my love into you. I'm not putting an investment. You're not an investment. If you're trying to do business, then we can invest together. But other than that, like, don't throw up what you did for me, because I'm not going to do it to you.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's real interesting. I just love it that, because I meet Gen Zs all the time, and they always feel like they have a selfishness about them, but you don't seem to be that way at all. And I mean that in a good way.
I can't even lie and say that I am, because I can, even no matter how selfish I want to be, I have a big family, so my heart is always big. Like, I have 37 nieces and nephews. They're all seniors and in high school and middle school, so they're calling me, asking me for stuff, asking me for advice. It's like, I'm always gonna make time for the people that I care about. So
of course, yeah.
I don't have room to be selfish.
Uncle.
I wish my mom had like 2 kids, then I could be selfish.
Yeah, you can be selfish, huh?
Go ask your grandma.
Okay, romantic relationships never defend you with their family. Then we're talking about when you are in an exclusive relationship with this person, not just boyfriend and girlfriend, or just, dating. We're talking about, we sleeping in the bed together, we are eating breakfast together, we may even be living together at this point. Right. And they don't defend your family. Every time you hear them on the phone, their mama or their daddy talking about, well, when is that girl or whatever? Why is she still there? Always something. Does that bother you?
So it does, but it doesn't. Because so ever since I've been like an adult, like graduated college, I haven't had a relationship where it's been that serious, where we've been on that level.
Okay.
But when I was in high school, I was in a 5-year relationship with a white girl, and she actually got kicked out of her house from her parents, because her parents were racist, and she went through like a lot just to be with me. So seeing someone do all that back then, it's like, and she just genuinely loved me. Like, still to this day, we don't have a bad relationship. She's actually married now. We still communicate. It's very positive. Like, she knew my mom before my mom passed. And it's just like, she went to bat for me so much with her family, that I feel like anybody that I'm in a relationship with now, they don't have to go as hard, but if they're not even going a little bit, that's not who I'm supposed to be with, because she did all that and we were young. We didn't even know what we wanted necessarily. We were 16, 17. She was literally homeless, staying with me and my mom. My mom was borderline racist, like, and my dad's mixed, which is the craziest thing. It was just a weird dynamic. So I don't know. I guess I would say in a relationship in this day and age, I would want somebody that would defend me to their family because I'm the person that you're building life with.
Yes.
Next, so.
What about you?
No comment.
No comment. Okay.
She pleads the fifth.
You're right.
I felt like the relationship that I was in, I did not get defended the way I thought I should. And what I mean by that, like, this is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, then you don't have to be in our life. And to me, there's no compromising because I will just say this without, I'm just saying, it was children involved, state involved, meaning marriage, that kind of thing. I was married. That I felt there was no compromise there. It was just like, you either choose me or you choose them. And that's how I felt. And if you couldn't do that, then obviously you didn't want to really be with me, because sometimes you can't, sometimes people don't understand, because if people believe that when you get married and you're as one, that means that we are as one. And if your outside family or your siblings or whatever, they either need to come on board properly,
or they just gonna be cut off,
or they gonna need to be on the life raft out in the ship on the ocean, because you're not on the ship with us no more.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that's the way my mother raised me. That's the way I was taught. She was like, no, husband and wife, y'all together, and all the other crap. No, they can't be on board. Then they gotta go.
Right.
And
y'all are one, so it's like if they can't accept you, then they can't accept none of y'all.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, and it wasn't. Yeah. No, anyway, we're not gonna stay on that. We're gonna move on. Back to the friendship talks. Well, you don't have any children, but we'll just say this:
I have a dog. She's
if
my
they
child.
were to talk bad about your children,
my friends, well, honestly, not even just my friends. Like Victoria can attest. Anybody that knows me knows that I treat my dog Sky like she is my child. You can't talk bad about her. Like,
what kind of?
she's a pit bull terrier. She's a service dog. She listens. She's obeyed. She went to training school. She is that
She's
bitch.
ready.
Like, and honestly, like, I had one of my friends tell me the other day he got a new puppy, and we made jokes like, just like you said, joning on each other. I told him, I was like, make sure you raise the dog right, not to be a badass. And he was like, you're walking around with an obese ass dog. The vet did tell me my dog was overweight.
You wouldn't even feed that dog.
Man, she eats everything in sight except for bones. Like, I ain't killing her. Well, she works out. Like, we got a backyard now, so she's getting her exercise. She went to the vet 2 days ago, and they told her she lost like 4 pounds, but. You just can't talk bad about my dog. I'm ready to go to war because my dog is my child.
That's your baby.
I'm scared for when I have kids, because then it's like, oh, I'll kill you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
Yeah.
And everybody I know loves their own child, but I feel like with me, I'm going to take it to the extreme, because I'm one of those people, my child is going to be my best friend.
Yeah.
Just because.
You would be surprised that people talk about your kids. You would be
Oh,
surprised.
they do. I know. I've seen it, and I'm just like, oh, y'all are different. I'm glad I'm not. No.
And these are people that you are supposed to be friends with. Talking about your children. What about you, baby?
Fortunately, I haven't had any experience with that, but I'll go to jail over jail.
She's like, simple. I'm going to jail. Mom,
Right.
come bomb me out.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I've had that experience with my younger ones, but I found out through a neighbor what was going on. I would just leave it at that. I'm not gonna put the information out there because I know my kids probably watch this. So yeah, somebody that's related to them was talking about my kids, and my neighbor overheard the conversation or was told, and then it came back to me.
Okay,
And-
we're gonna have to talk about this.
and I was hot. I was livid. I mean, I was ready to go to war. Like, don't talk about my kids. Don't talk about my children.
Because they're innocent.
Yeah, not only they, yeah.
If you have a problem, then they need to come.
You need to
parent,
deal with the
not-
adult. You need to deal with the adult, not the children. And I feel like, yeah, sometimes children are just, it's a passive aggressive behavior. I believe that people do, that when they pick on your children instead of coming to you. But it's like, why do you have a problem with my kids? Like,
Right.
They're children themselves. They
Right.
still have a lot of growing to do.
yes. So we're gonna move on.
All right.
We ain't putting too much business out there.
Right.
So, romantic relationship ignores your concerns. Any concerns that you have in the relationship, the romantic relationship, and they're just like, oh no, it'll be okay. And it's not okay. Have you ever dealt with that?
I have, and I don't really take well to people dismissing my feelings,
Mm-hmm.
just because I don't feel like I would necessarily do that to anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if it is, say I'm busy and you're telling me about something that's going on, I would say, hey, I'm super busy right now. Give me 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'll give you the attention. But like, I would just feel bad if someone did that to me because, I mean, we're all emotional people, and if you hurt my feelings, yeah, I might get over it, but that's always going to be lingering in my mind.
Yes, it's always gonna. What about you, Valentina?
Was this just relationships or friends?
No, this is romantic relationships when they ignore your concerns that you have brought up to them that you don't like, something that you don't like. Does that behavior trigger you?
I would say yes, because my thing is, if I'm bringing it up and I'm supposed to be important to you, then anything I say should be important.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't look at it like that, then that's definitely that's a problem.
Yeah, it should be. I'm not going to stay on that because I will be honest with you. I can talk about that all night because it bothers me. I feel like when people ignore you, they don't respect you. And I had to, like I said, I dealt with that. And it bothers me even friendship. It bothers me in acquaintance. It bothers me dealing with people in general. If I talk to you and you ignore me, I literally want to like aggressively ask you what your problem is, because that to me it's a disrespect. It's a disrespect to ignore people. It is. I mean, do you want to be ignored?
No.
I mean, nobody wants to be ignored. So why would you do that? So yeah, that thing is that really triggers me. Friendship and romantic relationship. So for friendship, tries to copy your personality. Oh yeah, I got some good ones.
I've had some people who have been around me and they try to start mimicking the things that I do, and I say this in the most modest way, but you can't do the things that I do. We don't live the same life. I might can maneuver with things that I do and get past, and you might do it and you might get yourself in some shit that you can't get out of. So it's just like, I don't know, it's just like you stay in your lane and I'll stay in mine. But just you can't be like me. That's really what it boils down to. Like, I have different things going on. I have a different path. God has created a path for everybody. So it's like, if this isn't your journey, or this isn't who you are, then don't try to force it on yourself.
So be yourself. Because like Jamal said, like,
well, have you ever had anybody try to copy your personality? Anybody in your circle?
Not in my face.
Not in your face.
Right. Like, swag. Everybody's trying to copy her.
Like, be inspired. Be inspired.
I know.
Don't like try to be me. Like,
nobody can be.
She
Nobody
be doing
can be
the
you.
hair. Everybody be coming in. Oh, where you got your braids?
Well, I call her Atlanta Fabulous right now.
She
She got
stays
the,
I got
with
the
the hair
long
like
lashes
she does
on.
that.
Yeah.
Right.
I
She
give it
changed
to
her
her
hair
every time.
every 2
The
weeks.
colors, everything. I just love it.
Yeah. She
I'm
is.
blonde right now, so I think
But she was
I'm
always
blonde.
like this. Even as a kid, I would be like, "Where are you going?" She was like, she would just put on just the craziest clothes, and I'd be like, "I'm going to school," and I let her go to school.
Expressing
And I feel like
herself, and I love
Jillian
that.
is like that. Like, she'll just kind of.
Yeah, just be. I'd be like, I said, we're going to the store together, so I'm gonna need you to go and put on something a little bit. Oh, I'm real funny. Like, I needed to match, not be too crazy.
Because
Right, you gotta stay within the boundaries.
Yeah.
We was walking in the house. You see the outfit she had on?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, did you wear that to school? She's like, no.
Oh.
And I was like, okay.
Yes. She's definitely got her own
Yes.
personality. She's very sassy. I think.
But I
You
would
met
say,
Jillian.
in
so.
a way, I feel like the way that people dress, the way that people portray themselves is the way that they basically express themselves in their art.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
like, if you're trying to copy someone else, that's not who you are. You're not being authentic to yourself.
No,
you're
we're not.
You're really just letting yourself down and shortchanging yourself.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, this is romantic relationship. So, for you, it's going to be male, and for us, it's going to be female. Your partner compares you to other men. Do you like? Is that a trigger? And it can be anything that they compare you to.
Yeah, it does. Because I've had a relationship where I constantly got like compare to what the last person did, and it's like we're two different people. I might show similar characteristics, but I don't do the same way. I don't do the same thing. I don't move the same way. My mind doesn't think the same way. So, at least give me the benefit of the doubt for me to show you, as opposed to you just taking those judgments or trying to put me in this box of what someone else could be. Like with me, you don't have to come into the relationship healed, but you can't come into the relationship completely broken and emotionally unavailable. Yeah, that's just a no-go for me, because it's like, now I can't fix nobody's heart. Like, I can be there to patch it up, but I'm not no one's mender, and I'm still trying to fix my own. So it's like, come healed or healing, but don't come broken.
I get it. And what about you?
I'm an individual, so no, I don't like it. Like, and yes, I have been in relationships where there was a comparison, and I don't do it, so just don't do it to me. I'm just that type of person. If I'm not giving you that energy, or I'm not doing that, don't do it to me, because I feel like you can grow with people if you give them the chance. But if you still are stuck in the past, you're never going to move forward. You're setting yourself up doing that. So just don't do it.
I don't know if I've ever dealt with a person comparing me to other women, other than I don't like when, gosh, this is a hard one for me, because I'm real, like I said, I can be I think I'm more territorial than I am jealous. I'm very territorial. Like, I am the type of person where if I go somewhere and we're together, and I kind of see like girls are kind of like looking at the person I'm with, like checking them out or whatever, I might do something to them to make them know that, hey, that's mine. Like, I'll lick his face. Like, I'm not gonna kiss. I'm gonna lick his face. I'm gonna do something to let you know. Stay over there.
I think guys are kind of the same way, because like when we go to a place and we know that we have a pretty girl, and we walk in the room and all the guys look, like we might grab her ass and squeeze it harder, because it's just like, all right, you can look, but that's all. That's it.
She going home with me just like she came in here with me.
So I get the territorial thing. I'm the same way.
Yeah, like, I'm very territorial.
You can look, but not too long.
Yeah.
And damn sure don't touch, because now we have a problem.
Yeah. But see, I'm very respectful in that aspect. If my mother always taught me that any time that you come in contact with the female, her husband, like her and her husband, you always greet the woman first.
Oh yes, definitely.
And a lot of people don't do that. They be like going to the man and be like,
and then be like, oh, and who's this?
Yeah. See, we about to fight.
The wife already done gave you a toot in her head. Like,
she already ready to go home. She ready to go.
Right.
And you done ruined the night. Like, her man can't even get to know you for real now, because you done disrespected everything. Like, she don't want you talking to him no more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
As a matter of fact, when we go home, you're gonna be on the roof. You're not even gonna be sitting in the vehicle.
Right.
See,
on the roof. Not even the roof, the roof. I don't know where that is. I don't want to sit there.
Oh, Lord. I'm not even drinking. Okay, let's move on. Are you enjoying these?
These are some really good questions. I like this.
Okay, cool. Okay, so this is back to friendship. What triggers you? Their behavior expects you to be there for them, but they aren't there for you. Like, they always crying to you all the time, and then when you have something major, like all their stuff is little, like little bitty stuff, and you help them, but then you come with something major, and they're like, I gotta wake up and go to work. I gotta be there by 7:00. Can we talk tomorrow?
Tomorrow's not promised. I might not wake up tonight, so if we can't talk about it now, then I don't need to talk about it with you. I'm gonna find somebody else, and then you're gonna start being insecure because you're saying that I'm cheating or seeking other validation from other people. But it's like, no, when I tried to come to you, you weren't available for me, so I'm going to find somebody that's available for me. I guess I'm in my era. I don't call it like I be telling people I'm in my future Lori Harvey era. Like, if it's not benefiting me, I never liked you. I'm gone to the next. Like, I just can't. I'm too young to be dealing and staying in situations that's not benefiting me, especially at the age where I'm trying to build and grow. So I just gotta go.
Yeah, that's with friendship. That's definitely how I feel. It's kind of like, if every single time I'm there for you, and then
it's draining. You're taking all my energy and I'm not getting anything back.
Yes.
So like I'm a battery and you're just taking all of it. I'm not getting replenished. I'm the Energizer Bunny, like constantly giving, but never receiving. So
what about you with friendship with that? Has that ever happened to you, or is that?
I feel like I'm pretty secretive when it comes to a lot of things, like, because I don't, I obviously don't talk to you about everything. I don't know. I just like to. I feel like I'm always that person for other people because I am so positive, and people that just have a lot going on, they just gravitate towards people like that. So I definitely give out a lot of my time to people, but normally, like, I don't know, the way I look at it is I'm not going to sit here and nag to somebody about my problems because I feel like there's always somebody that has it worse. And I just kind of like to deal with stuff on my own.
I mean, that's the same way I am too, but if I trust you, thing, if I trust
you need somebody to talk to.
If I trust you, then I'm going to tell you. If I don't trust you, promise you, you ain't gonna know nothing. I'll tell social media
before I send you
before I tell anybody that I don't trust. Because because then I feel like it's not an equal friendship.
Right.
If vice versa, you tell me, and I listen, and then vice versa with that. So we list because we want to try to stay under. So we're going to move on to romantic relationship, lack of communication in action. Is that something that triggers you when you're in a romantic relationship?
Yeah, because honestly, like, one of my biggest things that I hate what people do in this day and age is they're always like, I'm busy, or I was doing this, and it's like, you're never that busy. The Gen Z, I can't speak for the other generations because I don't know, but me personally, everyone now, we're all, even if you're busy, you're constantly having your phone around you. They have Apple Watches. You've seen that I've been trying to communicate with you. If you're busy, like, send me a quick text message, hey, I'm busy, I'll get back to you later. Because it takes a second to think about somebody, about somebody's feelings. Like, if you're having me waiting all day for a text message when I know you've been on Instagram or you've looked at your phone at least once throughout these past 6 hours, like,
because you checking, better believe.
I'm just feeling like you just don't care anymore, and it's like I'm not important enough for you to actually communicate that, hey, I'm busy, so I don't want you to think anything's up. I'm not texting you back. I'm just super busy. You could have said that in a voice note. It takes literally half a second. It takes 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, 20 seconds to send a text.
20 seconds.
I can't support that. Like, if you can't communicate with me, then we can't communicate at all. Like, I'm one of those people, if you can go one day without talking to me, go another one. And another one.
And another one. And another one.
Until it's no more. Like,
yeah. What about you, babe? For romantic relationship, lack of communication and action.
You make time for what you want, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yes, exactly. Very, very much so. I am, gosh, how can I put this? I was going to say something when you were talking, but no, we're good. Yeah, I do think that when someone ignores you, that goes back to being ignored. I mean, I get to a point where it's like, okay, I know that I'm being ignored, and I know that I'm not important, even as a friend. So I do start dwindling off. I do. I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt, and then I think it's just because something is embedded in me to do that. But I start getting angry, and I don't like to be angry. So I have to tell myself, Lexee, that person does not have time for you. You need to move on and stop engaging.
Yeah.
Because you're letting them know how they're going to treat you, and no one should be treated that way. No one should be treated that way. And as a matter of fact, I had decided this week. I have a lot of friends that I've known since I was a teenager and young adult, and I texted them all this past Tuesday, and I said, I'm going to make this a regular routine. I said, because it is unfair for me to say that you're my friend. These people know me, and I don't ever communicate with you. Even if it's, hey, how you doing? How was your week? I know.
Just to let you know you're thinking about
it. And I think that's something that we don't take the time. We only call people
when we need something.
We need something.
And it's so sad, and it's like, nowadays, that's why people have gotten to the point where their phone is staying on Do Not Disturb, because they know that people are only calling when they need something. They're not calling to check on people's well-being. That's a problem that's going on in society, and just really everybody. Like, nobody's as compassionate as they used to be, and that's kind of, I feel like it's the cause of COVID. Us being cooped up for so long that everybody's just trying to live in the moment. They're not focused on being a good person like we used to be.
They definitely not. Everything is priority. I got to do this, and this. And the friendship goes by the wayside. And then you wonder, well, what happened to that person? And it's like, you didn't think anything about me. You couldn't even take 20 seconds out of your life. I mean, at some point you eat, right? At some point you sit on the toilet, right? At some point you do something that doesn't require you to be like this.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm learning, because I'm going through transitioning right now, and I'm learning a lot of stuff that I just don't like and I don't want to tolerate anymore.
Right.
And I'm starting
setting those boundaries in your life.
And I'm starting to really pull back. I've had to pull back, like seriously pull back. Now it's just kind of like, oh, that's nice, and leave it at that.
I would say just leave it at that. That's what you have to do.
Because I'm letting you know, you're not giving me, you're depleting my energy at this point. I'm giving you, and you're not giving back. So maybe I'm not the one that you want to be friends with anymore. So I've got a big list, but we're gonna move forward with the Chris Rock stand-up. I had to do that. I was a guest on another radio show with two other comedians, and they talked. I was the only female, so I felt real special. But yeah, we watched it again. It was Selective Outrage, and I wanted to just incorporate it because it's based on the title of our podcast, What Behavior Triggers You. And so I would just ask you, what did you think, without going, because I know he said a lot, just 1 minute, 30 seconds of what did you actually think about the stand-up?
I honestly, when I was watching it, it really just gave what Chris Rock really kind of stands for. Like, he was speaking a lot of truth in it. Like, the things that he said, it wasn't necessarily any wrong. It was just all about, like, deliverance. And even when he was speaking on it, he was saying, like, some of the things that he was saying about Will and Jada. Just that whole scenario, like he said, everybody else was saying things. So when I say something, you choose to have a problem with me. So
Selective outrage.
Exactly. I definitely, his term, like selective outrage, it made me think it's a deeper thought, because there's a lot of scenarios when we have in life where people do that same thing. Like, they choose to act differently towards certain people just because they know that they'll have a one-up on them. But
yeah,
he is definitely right. Like, it all boiled down to exactly what he said, and what my mom's taught me, everybody's taught me, is you just don't fight around white
folks.
You just can't do that. Like, I learned my lesson in college. That's a topic for another day, but I literally went through 3 years of problems, lawsuits, legal stuff, and it's just, you have to pick a time and a place, and then you also just have to know your surroundings. And also, it's just all about, is it worth it? Like, your image is taken. Like, everybody's calling you these names now because you did something that made not just you, but us as a race look bad, because now it's giving ammo to people to just talk about, to have something to talk about. The Oscars is I hate to say this, I don't know if I can say this, it's the whitest award in the world, and you choose to do that.
Yeah. And it wasn't even about him. He had rage inside of the whole situation with his family that you put out there. Nobody told you to put that out there for the whole entire world to know. Some things you just don't tell everybody.
You gotta let the bloggers find that, and they gotta dig deep.
They have to dig deep. Yeah, because
take it to the grave.
Yes, because what is that as a man? How does that make you feel that your wife is sitting and saying, even though he may know, we don't know if they had an open relationship. Some people say they do. I don't know. I don't live their life, so.
But yeah,
for someone to say, "Oh, baby," even I like I said, I just disrespect.
Jada interviewing Will and asking that question is just like, I feel like in a way she has to take some accountability, and that's probably one of my biggest pet peeves. Like, when people don't take accountability. She wanted to play victim in the whole situation, but it's like, he wouldn't be able to say these things if you didn't do the things that you did. Like, every action has a reaction, and that's just why I gotta leave it at that.
Yes, definitely. Well, we definitely saw that. I mean, I enjoyed it. As Chris Rock is an actor, I've watched some of his stuff, and he's a great actor. But stand up, I tried to watch it. If you can't keep me in the first 10 minutes of your stand up, I'm done. I'm turning the channel. But this one, I mean, I started laughing from the beginning because it was funny. I had no idea that he had 2 grown daughters. And so basically the part that I liked was when he was like talking about that our generation, everybody, not just Gen Zs and millennials, everybody seeks attention. I guess social media has made us seek attention.
We all want the validation. We all want the selective like norm of being the it person or being looked up to or being an influencer, and that's cool and all, but as long as you're sticking to your morals and your values and you're still realizing you're in a normal reality, like you're living everyday life. These people that do have money, that have fame, they're the same person as you, just in better situations. Why don't you try to get yourself in better situations before you chase the fame?
Right.
It's just wild world we live in.
Right.
It's just a head scratch. It's a
No,
wild world
no, you're good. Yeah, we thought it was funny when he was saying about the like showing your ass.
What was it?
And he didn't speak a lie. Like nowadays, you can post a nude and get thousands of likes, but if you post a business inquiry, nobody wants to look at it. Nobody wants to share it or repost, and it's just like, is this what we resorted to?
Yeah, there is one somebody that's on my Instagram, and they do a lot of almost nudity, just almost barely, and they get a lot of likes, and it's just like, okay, do they like you because they think you're beautiful or because you're showing half of your body? I mean, I think that to me, when I get to relationships, that's the comparing that I don't like, because a lot of these females that are on there, they get a lot of work done, a lot of work. They're not, because nobody is hardly born with the big, there's a few girls born with juicy booties, okay, but to me, a lot of them are not, and they got the waist of size of a Barbie doll. That, and a lot of people don't realize that in order for you to get that really small waist, they have to take a rib. They have to take out 2 of your ribs. To me, that's crazy for a trend.
You're really shortening your life.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah, because the protection of the bone, the ribs are there to protect your lungs for a reason.
But did y'all see how Black China's kind of reversing all the stuff that she got done? So.
Oh, she's reversing it?
She's gotten a lot of it taken out, like the fillers and her butts, necks, and.
But then it's gonna be all flabby now. She's gonna have to take the skin off.
You gotta have money. She's gonna have to just tighten it up, I guess.
But see, that to me, that's the illusion that they are selling. Like, because I can remember a comedian had said that he was talking about that. He was on a good. I know we're going over a little bit because we got a guest, and I know you guys are like, this is really interesting. So basically, what he was saying was that you guys look at these women that they're just drop dead beautiful. They're this and this and that. He said, but they go to sleep and wake up, they breath stink just like everybody else's. Right. They got to sit on the toilet and wipe their butt just like everybody else.
Not just like everybody else now, because now they have to move silicone out of the way to wipe their butt.
Yes, and I always think there was a comedian that said when the booty is too big, he was like,
how do you wipe? You lose your hand.
No, he was saying that from the backside that is kind of smelly because it's so big, and because you got moisture back there, and so if it's so big, there ain't no air. I know I'm going because I got a small butt. I was not born with a big booty. I don't know how she got a big booty, and my youngest daughter got a big booty. I don't know where they got it from, but me, I just got a plain old
pancake.
It's not pancake. It's just
not too much.
It's just not a lot. But hey, I got a lot to offer. I mean, to me, it's like the booty thing is a trend, just like a lot of other
stuff. It's gonna fade away.
It is definitely.
I was about to say, and I'm all for like I'm a huge feminist, like being raised by my mom and all my siblings and all them. Like I've just seen women go through things, so like I always understand them.
Like feel your best.
Exactly, but it's like also
don't be like everybody
think about
else.
your future.
Right.
In 10 years, if you're not going to be in the financial standpoint to keep these surgeries up, you're gonna look a horrible mess. Like
Right.
everything's gonna be sagging. You're gonna walk around unhappy, even unhappier than you were before you got this done, because now you have botched everything. And I'm not saying botched as in you got bad body work done, but your body's gonna age. When it's aging,
it ages.
you have to either get the updated surgeries with this aging, or either just take it out. And so it's like in the end, you're just putting this in for 2 or 3 years and then taking it out. What's the purpose?
Yeah.
Why not just work out, get your body right?
Right.
And and
Gain
find
the
a
muscle.
man. Find a man who is, or be with a man who accepts you for you.
Because the men that's wanting the girl that have the BBLs and all that, like they're not actually any type of men that you should be going after. They're not men that's gonna try to build a business. They're not men that's actually
Gonna take
trying
you
to take you serious. They're looking at you as an Instagram female that he can take home for the night.
Right.
That's it.
Because everybody's got the same body. So it's like, what's different about you? Nothing.
Nowadays, it's really all about a woman's personality, what her drive is. Well, for me personally, like you can be the prettiest girl in the world, but you literally cannot be compatible with me if you just thinking that everything is gonna be given to you because you're pretty. Like you got a body and this. It's like that's gonna fade. My looks are gonna fade. Your looks are gonna fade. What are we gonna do when we're 30, when we're 40, and 50 and 60, and we're trying to do something, and you're trying to bat your eyes at the register, but this man looking at you like them wrinkly ashes.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
it's just all about more.
Your personality, the energy that you give, just the charisma. Because I mean, just like I can go anywhere and work a room, because that's the way my mother raised me. She was like, you could be the most uneducated person in the room, but if you know how to have a conversation, people are going to listen to you. That's why I read a lot. I read a lot just because I don't know everything. So it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna read this, so at least I have some. So if somebody's talking about it, I have some clue. I'm not gonna be the bimbo in the room.
Right, you look good, but what's going on up there?
Yeah, and people like to, if they know that you may not know everything, but if you can engage,
right,
then people are gonna be like, okay,
They're likely to remember you more if you have this as opposed to you having all this, because this nowadays
so
this
is get you so far.
Everyone has that. The BBLs aren't even expensive. You can go to the Dominican Republic and get them for like $300 or $400, $700, $900. Like they're accessible to everybody. So the luxury of having those are just going away. That's why a lot of these celebrities are getting to the point where they're like, I don't even want it anymore. Everyone else can get it. Right. I want to look like me, look authentic, and it's like you've already done all this to your body. Everybody is expecting this of you, and now you just want to go back to this. So it's like with K Michelle was so prettier before all of this. Don't get me wrong, she's still gorgeous now, but it's like I get all the trauma you went through with the man and all this, but it's never worth it. I feel
There's another man. There's another man. I mean, what is there? 8 billion people in the world?
It's about a man.
I know. You guys take us through the ringer, and and that's just like.
I hate men. I'm sorry. We suck. Like, look, like I am a huge feminist, and I know that men are no good. Like no good.
Thank you.
We're no good, guys. I'm sorry. Don't cancel me or whatever. We are demons and ministers to society sometimes. Like,
yeah. And you don't have, the thing of it is that I always wonder about the men who have sisters, who have daughters, who have mothers that raise them, and then they go out and they mistreat women, or they don't be honest with them. Just go ahead and just be honest. Like, hey, I am dating other women, or I don't have time for you because I'm really not interested in you.
I'll let you in on a secret. The men that actually enable that type of behavior, their dads were the one that was around them when they were raising them, taking them to see other women and telling them not to tell their mom. And if they would not tell their mom, then they're the type of guy that grew up just like him. Because I had that same scenario happen. Like growing up, I had my brothers that had girlfriends and wives and stuff, and they would always have me ride with them because I'm the innocent little brother. And they'd be like, oh, don't tell my wife, or don't tell this and this. And me being me at the time, I'm like, okay, I'm a child, so I'm going to stand a child's place. But getting older, it's like, that's not okay. You're having babies on your wife, and you don't know what that woman is going through. It's just a lot. Like, I hate men sometimes. Like, the fact that women go through natural childbirth, or just childbirth in general, and produce life, and then men can go out here and just do the darnest things and act like they go through so much. Like, I actually got into an argument the other day with one of my friends who got mad that I told him I was a feminist because he was like, women got it easy. They don't have to pay for anything. And I was like, women have to go through a period every month. They have to have a natural childbirth. Back in the day, there wasn't medicine. They had to deal with the man that they've been with all their life, cheating on them, having a baby with someone else, and then they're just
bringing a
supposed to be
disease
okay with
home to them or whatever.
It's just
It's a lot.
The male species is crazy.
We need to reprogram you guys.
His validation for it was literally women don't have to pay for anything though. Most of the time, a man is paying for their food, this and that, and I'm like,
you're paying for our time.
That doesn't equivalent. That's not. It's not the same. Like,
no, it's not.
A woman having a child for you is not the same as you buying her dinner. Like, are you stupid? She could die. Like, she literally
yeah, that's
could die.
close to death as we get. Yes, having a child. People
It's
don't
just why my mom did it for 12 years straight.
She did. Oh my
all
goodness.
my brothers and sisters are doorsteps, back to back to back. Some of them overlap, and then there's a 20-year gap difference, and then there's me. So it's like, for her to know that my mom went through literally 12 or 10 years straight of her
pregnancy, just
being pregnant, like
Mm-hmm.
not even feeling like a normal woman, constantly dealing with postpartum and stuff like that. Like,
yeah,
it just makes me value women a lot more in today's society, especially because now she's not here anymore. She didn't get to do a lot of the things that she probably wanted to do, seeing me grow up. Because it's like she raised me completely different than my brothers. They were in and out of jail, were problematic, having kids at the age of 16, and here I am, 24, and I've had one. Well, I had one scare, but other than that, it's like.
Yeah, you know where you want to go. You know what path. The financial situation for you is different. Yeah, I get that, but we're gonna.
That's it. Basically, what I was gonna say. Just men suck, but
yeah. Well, hey, that's for a whole. We'll have to have you back and maybe talk about that. I don't want to bash men, but I do know that women have a very difficult time because
Women's Awareness Month. So.
You know, we do put a lot into a man because if we like him, we're going to put in a lot into it, and to me that is where a man has to be very firm. Look, you know, you have to be firm. If you're not firm, then she's going to think, well, maybe I still have a chance, or maybe But we got to definitely cut it short. And it was the joy talking to you.
This is like a therapy session. I really loved it.
Yes, that's why. Yeah.
I'm gonna cancel on my therapist this week. I'm like, I don't need you. I talked with Lexee Love.
Right.
Well,
they're gonna be like, who is this Lexee Love?
Well, I hope that
Well,
I hope that the audience got a lot out of it and enjoyed. You know, learning a lot more about Jamal. I've just met him today, and I love him. He's a joy. We'll have to.
I try to do a little something.
We'll have to hang out because I do love hanging out with younger folks and just getting their perspective of life. Because I feel like while we're here on Earth, the journey, we should learn from each other and not bash necessarily each other.
Because history has to be passed down. Right. It's not going to be in the books anymore, apparently. So.
That's a whole nother topic, but go ahead and play the music. So we'll get out of here. It's a joy, and we definitely look forward to getting back and having another guest, if not Jamal, somebody else.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so you guys have a wonderful evening, and we look forward to seeing you next time. You found it.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate everyone.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all tune in and watch.
Look at he's just taking over my little podcast.
Right, yeah, look, he a professional.
So we done got comfortable now. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
we done had a therapy session, so.
Yeah, I'll cut it. Yeah, I'm gonna edit it. Cut it.